Grand Rising family. I hope everyone is doing their best today. Just want to let you know, for those who do come across my channel, who are regulars coming across my channel, I want to thank you. I am very grateful. And for those who just been coming across my channel and haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. If you don't know how to subscribe, all you got to do is use your little pointer with your mouse or finger and tap the subscribe button below. Okay? And if you find the information in my videos valuable, please thumbs up the video or just like the video. You either thumbs it up or like it. Whatever button they have down there for you. I do welcome your comments, questions, insights in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings on what I'm sharing in my videos. Or if you can just give some intuitive insights as well. I love your input. Also, if you find this information valuable, I welcome you to share my videos, because I find that we're living in a day and time that we need to come together and be able to communicate what's going on with ourselves, within our communities, and just within the world, period. Okay? So now that I've gotten that out, let's move forward with the video. Okay, so I'm coming forth because I feel guided to teach you to heal yourself, to think for yourself, to recognize some things within yourself or touch on some things that I've went through that you might be going through that you're finding as obstacles to get past. Okay, so that you can tap into your gifts, talents, skills, and powers so that you can open up that channel within you to move forward with your mission and whatever it is, to build on a new way of living so that you may ascend into the new world, new planet Earth, etc., to help build that life of peace, to be able to live as a community or in a world where we don't have to live in the hell that's being experienced today. Because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of you that is seeing that there is a lot of, how you say, unfairness that's going on in the world. So let me get on with it. I want to touch on, if you see me looking down, I do have my notes. Sometimes I just feel a little embarrassed to, but I wrote some notes so that I can remember to discuss them. So just bear with me, okay? So I want to touch on some things that I've experienced in hopes that maybe if you're experiencing them, maybe you can chime in below in the comment section and give me your experience, your insights, or some things that maybe you have done to work through those obstacles and challenges in your life. So I once heard this lady on TikTok say, for some people, when it comes to relationships, that when dealing with someone who had a dysfunctional upbringing and they didn't have a functional family, that for a man or woman to marry into something like that, just know it will be dysfunctional for you. I agree to disagree. in a sense that sometimes you go through the challenges of dysfunctional upbringing, okay, as a challenge for yourself that you created before coming into this human existence on the spirit realm. These are challenges you decide to get through because it may be your mission to get through these dysfunctions in order to turn around to give a helping hand to those who you see going through the same thing. Doesn't necessarily mean that that person will always be dysfunctional. At some point in time, maybe those people who have dysfunctions in their life need someone to assist them in seeing their own dysfunctions. Now, I know I haven't lived a perfect life. And yeah, I've had a lot of dysfunctions that I've seen growing up. Okay? Who hasn't? Even if you thought your family was so perfect because they went to the perfect church, they had the perfect wedding, you know, they had the perfect house with the perfect gated fence around it, doesn't necessarily mean that mentally and emotionally they're not going through something. And maybe they were guided to have this perfect life when it's truly not really the life they really want. They want to be able to, have you ever seen those people who you think have the perfect life, but later on in their marriage, you find them in the club, you're finding them doing things that you like, girl, dude, you got the perfect life. We all define perfection differently. Because sometimes when a child is born into a family does not necessarily mean they want to do what the family is doing. You know, I can say that for myself. I may have thought that I was brought up in a dysfunctional family and don't want to be dysfunctional. You have some people who feel like they was brought up in the perfect family and they want to be dysfunctional, or they just think this is just too perfect. This is not real. Because now that we are ascending in vibrations and frequencies and things are being exposed in our world, we're beginning to see that those things we thought were perfect really aren't perfect, because we aligned ourselves by comparing ourselves to other people that we've seen on television. How do you know that the television wasn't created to give you an idea or influence you with ideas of how they expect you to live? How do you know that institutions aren't set up to program you and influence you to live a certain type of life? Go to school, go to college. And schooling, or these educational institutions, are programming you. How many of you now in your adulthood realize that some of the things you were being taught were dysfunctional to keep you in a certain mindset where you can't see what's right in front of you? And what's right in front of you is the life that you're living is dysfunctional because you're not really happy with living a life, having gone to school, getting married to the perfect person that your family or society says that that's the perfect person. But deep inside, something isn't right about it. And then you go on through life, bored as heck, living a life for other people and truly not living a life you truly want to live. That's dysfunctional. Judging people for being themselves, all because you can't be yourself, because you're still trying to impress others, trying to allow people to see you as a perfect person. Whereas that perfect person could be dysfunctional thinking. Okay? Because what we have to remember, what's right for me may not be right for you. It does not mean that what's right for me is dysfunctional or bad because you don't want to do it. It just means that that person is different and they are living a different path until they decide is no longer the path they want to follow. And it's okay to change up and switch up. Yes, it's called being free. Being free and not judgmental of yourself and ashamed of change when it's time to change. Because life is about change. It's about growing. It's about making mistakes that a lot of people think are dysfunctional. And mind you, those same people who are pointing the finger, looking down their nose at people, pay attention to the three fingers pointing back at them. Pay attention, because while you're pointing the finger, you're being triple judged, more judged for what's coming out of your mouth. For judge not, because the moment you judge someone, that same judgment that you're judging is going to come back on you triple time, if not more. So, how did I learn to identify my dysfunctions? Being open, expanding my mind to hear other people out. And not just that, being that person who was pointing to the finger to judge, because that's how I was taught to judge. And then I started noticing that when I would talk about others, that later on, I started doing what others were doing, that who I judged. And then I realized that saying, judge not, for ye shall be judged. That just basically means the God within you, the source within you, is going to teach you the lesson. It's going to teach you a lesson for judging someone else for being themselves or just doing what they think is right for them. So paying attention to little things such as that is called reflecting. Having moments where those embarrassing moments, those are time to even pay attention to. Because if you feel embarrassed, maybe you're embarrassed because you need to watch yourself. It has, that embarrassment is a magnification of your imperfections to pay attention to and to reflect deeply on, to make a change if it's not something you like. And if you can see yourself in others, how do you see yourself in others? The moment, if you don't see it in yourself, you're going to be quick to see it in someone else and talk about it, gossip about it. And if you, before you even talk about it and gossip about it with someone else, talk about it and gossip about it with yourself. So then you can ask yourself, why do I feel a need to think so deeply or feel so deeply about this other person? Mainly because it is magnifying something within you. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something. You know, I was what they call a teenage mother. I had my child at 17. In my last year in high school, I still graduated. But I'm gonna tell you, I was so afraid of what the world had to offer. when I got ready to leave high school, because there was a change taking place. At some point, I had to realize I had to take care of myself, that I was going to have to do that. And I haven't had much support. Not that, and I'm not looking down on my family for not receiving much support, because maybe they did not know. Maybe they didn't have support. So it's just been a trend to not be supportive. You know, if anything, what I've seen in my family is people get their stuff together, and sometimes people don't know how to communicate, how to be supportive, how to speak supportively. And sometimes they brag about what they're doing or tell you what you need to be doing instead of trying to show you how to do it. So maybe they didn't know how. So I don't judge them because of the lack of support I got. I look at the fact that what type of support they got. Maybe that's the way they've been taught, being supportive, showing off, being flashy. It doesn't make it right. But if your path is meant to enlighten and heal yourself, you, especially if you are ready and you truly, truly want it, you choose yourself for your mission, then you will be guided. It might take some time. It might take years before you wake up and fully see your potential and to act on that potential. Yet I say, don't get discouraged, because many a times I've gotten discouraged. Many a times, I've done things. So everything I talk to you about here, I've experienced it myself. That's why my research always start with me and what I've learned from experience, because you can't get experience from a book or learn something from a book. Or see how institutions do, they give you the book to learn from, and subliminally you're being programmed to think this is how you do it before it's even done. You're being taught from a book first, instead of really getting the reality. People look down on people. They call certain people street people, people who learn from the streets, because they're getting the experience without ever having to see a book. When there are beings out there who are exploiting us, exploiting the masses, taking advantage of us, trying to dumb us down so that we don't see exactly what is really going on in their system that they've created to program us. Another thing that I had to look at in all my programming is go back before the programming started to set in, when I was a really little girl, and my thoughts, and sometimes those thoughts that's going along my life that I really, really wanted. Sometimes I find myself reflecting back on my childhood when I was fresh and pure, remembering those times before a lot of the patterns and influences was set in, to get a glimpse of who I truly wanted to be or what I expected of me, until things got distorted with these other patterns and influences, in order to remember who I am. Sometimes going back to your childhood helps you to even go back to before. As a child, sometimes you think, what was I, what was my mindset or thoughts like before I came into this world? Having those kind of reflections, trying to remember who you were before you came into this meat sack, that's what some people call it, this flesh, before you start experiencing being human. Having an idea that you are more than what you look in the mirror and see every day. So what has been set up is a system of trends, like a spell, that helps us build a mindset that we are less than. And how I figure that is because you're worshiping a God outside of yourself, not realizing that that source that you are worshiping outside of yourself is the same source that is within all living things, beings, anything considered life, and having an understanding that every single thing on this planet vibrates, because they consist of elements that was gathered from Earth to create it. All the elements on the elemental chart. If you see this sword right here, behind that sword, that picture is an elemental chart. All the elements that have been found and not yet found within our atmosphere, our dimension, and acknowledging that there are other dimensions. Because just to say our dimension is to acknowledge that there's others. There are other dimensions. Seeing through the old system, or the system that you're used to, called the matrix, and breaking free from that system. If the way to do so, or to acknowledge, is just be able to acknowledge that we've been taught a system of living. But is that system of living that we've been taught is really truly deep down inside your heart, soul, and mind, that your soul is in agreement upon? Once you start to live it and you start to feel, this is not it. I want to cheat. And just the very word that you're told, cheating, is cheating bad because you want to get out of what you've been programmed? You want to cheat the program? You really don't accept the program, so you want to cheat. Because you've been taught that cheating is bad based on institutionalized programming. You're told to share and work as a team, while in basic school is bad, that you need to figure it out on your own, your answers on your own, and not really seek out help from a teammate. So as you get older, certain things in life, if you do, you'll be cheating. Think about that. Really think about that mindset that you've been taught. It's okay as an adult, when you work a job in a career field, it's okay to cheat and share answers that you've come up with others who you may not even realize are stealing your ideas, patents, and patenting them, and later realize, I came up with that, but they took it. So why not keep that same mindset from school? You're not allowed to cheat and share answers and ideas, why not keep that same mindset? Or why not just have the mindset of sharing gifts, talent, skills, ideas with others, working together to build as a community from the time you enter an institution. I don't even like the word institute. Well, I don't mind the word institute, but an institution of learning is a place where you're programmed to live according to a system that was created. You don't even realize that this system, a certain system that we're living in, is now being exposed and it's crumbling, it's falling. But a lot of you are still trying to hold on to it because that's, you feel, you've become, it's become a habit. You've become so programmed that you're frozen in fear to release it. You feel like you're too old to change because that's the mindset you've been taught. Whereas you should realize, not getting caught up in age, birthdays, not to, it doesn't mean to not acknowledge it, but why age yourself? I'm turning this many years old. You're telling yourself you're getting old. So you have to pay attention to the verbiage that you're giving yourself. Pay attention. It's a lot of stuff that we have to break that spell. Stop spelling words and teaching and start teaching words. That's going to help with your mindset so that your actions and feelings towards them will be different. So again, this is the process. And I know you might think, well, everybody does this. Yes, everybody may participate in a way of breaking system influences and trends. But you add on your own creativity to it, how you gonna do it. Because not everybody can break that spell the same way. That's why we're different. That's why I am no longer allowing y'all or allowing myself to allow you guys to dim my light just so that your light can shine. That means I'm being myself without the guilt. The way I live my life, how I may walk my path, it's not going to be like you. So stop comparing yourself with me or trying to force your ideas and habits on me. If I want to change and better me and open up myself to something totally different than being programmed to think like the masses, like everybody else. Haven't you realized those who usually step out of what they call the norm and do something different? Those are the ones who rise to the top, who are consistent, who cut out all distractions to better themselves, who's not looking to follow, but yet to serve. And I know you may not get it, like, isn't serving following? No. But think about it. Think about it. So we have been taught that the system that we live in is good. How are you going to tell me or create a system for me that is good for me without my input. I didn't give you my input. I didn't help you build this system for me. This is why I asked for your input. I want your input. Leave me some input, some insights, so we can grow this thing, so we can build a better life for our children. And at some point in our life, we got to be able to discern when someone is telling us lies, especially on this internet. You got to have a cerning. You heard of that machine called the CERN, the Hadron Collider? You got to collide within your own hadron, within your own DNA and cells. You got to collide your own thoughts and ways of being. You got to learn to heal yourself, because you don't even realize. You think because, oh, I got all this money, I got this beautiful house, I wear the best clothes, I wear designers, and ain't nothing wrong with it. But if you so caught up in stuff like that, that you're forgetting to develop your own soul, your own mind, your own heart, to remember and have a heart for others. I'm gonna tell you something. I discipline my children in a way where sometimes I feel I need to detach. There have been situations amongst my children where I've had to put them out the house. And to some people, that may be harsh. And my children aren't under 18. I'm just the type of mom, I don't want my children to get caught up depending on me for every little thing. I try to teach them to figure it out themselves. And don't get me wrong, I get compassionate. I have a heart, because sometimes I be like wanting to not treat them that way, or to go into, and I'm constantly apologizing to them. So I realize they've developed the mindset where they can control me, because they see that if I'm always apologizing and saying I'm sorry, then I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So they need to tell me what to do. You see that programming? Unconsciously, it was done. How to fix it? You can't fix them. It's just that you have to recognize what you've done and put a stop to it. And recognize that your children are children because you birthed them, but when they get a certain age, you got to respect and acknowledge the fact that they're not little, that you still got to allow them to make mistakes. And if they come to you for advice and you don't have no advice to give them, acknowledge that. Shoot, baby, I don't even know myself. This one, you're going to have to figure it out. And when you figure it out, come back and let me know. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you do have some advice to give them, all you can do is advise. You can't force them or make them do it. And that's something I had to learn. But also realize you're not obligated. You're not obligated to them because they are adults. You can probably recognize some mistakes you've made and just acknowledge to them, say, look, I made some mistakes with you, talk about it, communication, heal you, acknowledge some mistakes you've made, because it's not like you can't still learn. You're not too old to learn. And stop thinking because you're a elder age that you have the rights now to tell somebody what to do when you really, for real, in your heart, you know your life ain't right. Be open to still learn from those who are younger than yourselves, because I've said this before, with every baby being born is a new idea being prepared and ready to bring forth new intentions, creations, ideas, skills, gifts, powers, and knowledge. That you are the elder to just kind of remind them of, since you've been here for a while, just to let them know that just because it's said differently, it looks differently, it's still a lot of the path that's being walked is still very similar to what you've had to walk. The distractions or the achievements are quite similar. It's like a movie you've already seen. It's an old movie that's been upgraded and updated, or that's been tweaked and changed. If you get my drift with that. Most movies are the same. It's just the actors are different, the directors and producers of the movie, the writing may be a little different, but the moral of the story is still the same. I've seen many movies that was based on a parallel reality. They might call the movie something different, but the moral of the story is the movie was based on letting you know there are parallel universes where there's another you living a different life, or time travel movies. They may show you different ways to travel throughout space and time, but yet the moral of the story is there's a such thing as time travel. They're putting the truth in front of you. But now some of you are beginning to grasp, oh, they've been putting this stuff in the movies. Just like the stuff that they show you in that cartoon, The Simpsons, and then all of a sudden it happens. They're letting you know this is premeditated. We're showing you what we're going to do in The Simpsons, and then eventually, or they show you in movies what they're doing, and then they do it. Or they'll show you movies what's already going on, letting you know this is what we're doing to y'all. So you might want to wake up and stop thinking me to be crazy, because I'm trying to show you, thinking it's some conspiracy theory. It's not a theory means it's false. But if they're showing you that they've acted on these theories, it's no longer a theory. It's actually just plain old, they're conspiring against you. Because you're not waking up, because you want to stay programmed, and you done got so comfortable with habits and ways of living that now you're too scared to break out, because you're frozen in fear. And that's what they want you to be, afraid. Because as long as you're afraid and live in fear, they can control you, because you're too scared. You're scared of them. When for real, you are the one with the power. And they're draining you of your power because you're frozen and don't see yourself. Yeah, that was me. This is why I'm able to talk. Like I said, this is why I'm able to talk to you about these things, because these are things that I went through. Some things I'm still releasing. Don't get me wrong. I'm still growing. I'm still awakening. I'm still exposing myself to who I truly am and who I am inspiring and motivated to be my true self. Before I came into this world, the confidence, courage, and strength that I've had, the power that truly exists within me, around me, to me, for me, and me, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. being in this world and not of it, knowing that I can be free to be me and not allow anyone to dim my light, tell me I can't be me. I know you's a dang lie. Try to use manipulative words, trickery to subliminally influence you to stop trying to be your better self. Stop trying to outshine the others and be better. It's not that I'm being better than you, but I'm going to do better than you if you're not trying to do better for you. I'm going to be better for me. So recognize you're not too old to change. Start having the mindset that when a new baby is born, pay attention to what's their mission? What can I learn from them to better myself since I've been here 50-something years? Or just been here for a while. You ain't got to place a number on it, because as soon as you start placing numbers on yourself, you're aging yourself instead of just enjoying life. You can have a birthday, you ain't got to place a number on it. Or you could just place a number and let that number not change. Oh, I'm 19 again. I'm 19 again. This year I'm 19. It's 2025. I'm 19 again. A better version of being 19. It's good to be 19, but I'm maturing, being the best 19 there is could be. You know what I'm saying? There is to be. I'm making myself better naturally, organically, and not being influenced to think I'm something I'm not. Because if you're born into this world with the gender and sex that you are, trying to change it because you don't want to be that, because you've been influenced to think something else is better, or you trying to be a lion when you was born a crab. You don't know the powers of a crab. The powers of a crab could be better than a lion. Or not necessarily better, but hey, we're all here to be ourselves. I was born a female gender in the human body, but I'm not going to limit myself to just being a female. I am a confident female. I'm Anita. Do you know what Anita means? Grace. I do it gracefully. And if you can't change your gender, because I remember I was a little, I wanted to be like the boys. I didn't want to be a boy because I'm not going to put my body through the torture of surgery to change to be a boy. I have to accept that I am who I am physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I'm more than that. I am the X and the Y. I am a creator. And for some of you who can't give birth to another life, you may have another mission, because giving birth to another life and having to be responsible for that life might distract you from what you really need to do. And who's to say that there are children in the world who are losing their parents to death or something happening, that you can't take on the responsibility of being a parent to someone that you didn't give birth to, but spiritually, that could be your spiritual child that was birthed through someone else. It may not be meant for your body to go through all that, because your body needs the strength and energy to do other things. But it does not necessarily mean that you can't help bring up another life that you may be spiritually connected to. Stop thinking less by trying to cause a mess with yourself. And for those who have already done things to their bodies and whatnot, I'm not judging you for doing it, because you did it because it needed to be done. And whatever lessons that come with that, with you, you might be the example for others to not do that. Or maybe to do that so they can be examples for others. Who knows? Am I saying it's bad what you've done? You have to be the judge of that, not me. I just know it's not for me. And stop trying to influence others to be something they will later regret and blame you for influencing them with doing it. Like with this system that we living in, that's corrupted, that's falling, because it's time to fall. And there's a lot of beings who are trying to stop it. You can't stop what's fated and destined. So just remember, I'm not here to make you think like me. I'm here to help and teach you to recognize certain signs, symbols, and synchronicities within you that you're no longer satisfied with. And some of those signs, symbols, and synchronicities that's trying to tap into your DNA cells to help you realize your mission, your true spiritual mission. Because for real, for those who don't know that there are spiritual beings, and I'm not talking to you. So to those who do recognize that, then maybe this is a message to you. Some of these signs, symbols, and synchronicities may come in the form of others speaking on their experiences, their life. Some of you may think, well, then if we don't have institutions, how are we going to learn certain skills and whatnots? That's why you have family and people in your village or your environment, your community that you can talk to. But because we have been taught to not have a relationship with our neighbors, and sometimes, neighbors can be dangerous, because, you have some dysfunctions that are trying to lead you off the path. But, that's why you sometimes if you don't have people within your family to teach you, or close people to the family to teach you, sometimes we have to learn the hard way. I was about to say I'm sorry to say that, but I can't say I'm sorry, but I just have to say that. Sometimes people go through things to come back and warn us about it. So maybe see this as a warning to pay attention to things on your path. Sometimes we don't know what to look for. That's why we have to experience dangers, pain, experience hurt and pain, so we know what it feels like and don't get caught up in constantly experiencing these pains and discomfort, knowing we want more out of life, but we don't know how to come out of it. So we have people who come into our life, or have access to people, places, and things to be able to access information that's needed for our change. Take it all into consideration. Discern intuitively, listen to how we're feeling deep inside. Like, you're being told things, I don't care about people thinking I'm crazy. Sometimes people got to act crazy or be crazy to get respect. So people know not to F with them. That's what I was going to say. F is the beginning of a word. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta go. But if y'all have some questions for me, leave them down below. I appreciate those who appreciate what I have to give, what I am here to give. And I appreciate those who are waking up to their gifts, talents, skills, and powers and giving back so I can learn, So I can learn to be accepting of who I already am and accepting of your gifts, because, we got to be able to appreciate other people's differences and stop looking down on them. Stop giving your 2 cents and wait until you're asked for your 2 cents. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we have to step in just to save a person. So we have to give our 5 cents in order to help save, to keep you from getting hurt or killed, or from dying or killing yourself and all that other good stuff. It's the formula is so expansive. The reason why things are done to be done, but you have, like I said, you can only do what's right for you. Do what's right for you. Stop being afraid just because you feel like you're a certain age. Take age out of your mind. The reason why your life is shortened is because you put an age on it. You keep calling yourself old. Each day I'm learning something new. So I can't be getting old if I'm learning something new. I feel like I'm getting better and better. And just remember, the healer is not someone outside of you, but is in you. And when you come in contact with someone and their vibration frequency and what they're sharing with you is right, then you attracted that into your life, that person, place, or thing. It was meant for you to come into your life to help remind you. And sometimes, even if you don't like what the person, place, or thing is giving, then it's meant to disturb you, because you attracted it still. You still attracted it because, so if it disturbs you, then you need not to check them, but check yourself. I'm done. Bye. Shoot. Hi, my name is AnitaYarbrough, and I am your holistic healing life coach and counselor. I bring to you today my signature programs based on healing transformations that align purpose. My first signature program, self-authentication based healing. This paradigm shifting and transformative based program is designed to share life experiences due to the changing times we're in to assert your self-authenticating willpower. In this program, you will learn the importance of healing to help lead the way towards understanding a new age mindset that promotes creative, holistic living for unlocking your purpose. Transform and align with your purpose in any area you choose. Within these changing times, by trying a new approach to tasks and or activities to gain courage and confidence. Feel free to accept the changes in the world and experience the new, real you without judgment from yourself and others. Learn to accept uncontrollable circumstances. let go of the past, and activate a new you. Overcome blockages on your way towards your newfound freedom after attending this life-changing presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn the difference between using logic and intuition, understand how your belief systems influence your authenticity, learn the importance of balancing your light and dark psyche, use mental and emotional coping techniques to transcend traumas and pain to start the healing process, gaining self-acceptance to heal through self-talk and expression. My second signature program is lifestyle-based healing. This life-building and knowledge-based program is designed to help you succeed in the next phase of transformational growth during these changing times to enhance your development. In this session, you will learn how to tap into your natural survival resources and following the intuitive influences that open your eyes to new pathways of living, achieve greater results, and supercharge your mission by creating a new lifestyle. You will come to understand how to discipline your body, your mind, and spirit to prepare the unexpected and expected changes in your life, inside and out. Inspire others to do the same. Become efficient and improve functionality after this enlightening presentation. After this program, you will be able to learn what your limits are towards change, learn how to replace unwanted habits with better practices, identify your stress triggers and traumas, to make changes and self-heal. Learn about inner and outside influences that affect your lifestyle. Understand how good health practices establishes great wealth to enhance a certain lifestyle. Learn the importance of your survival and creating your new life and what it takes to sustain a new lifestyle. Expose your toxicities before incorporating new lifestyle changes. Now, this third signature program is my communication-based healing. This mind-enriching session will teach you how to express and communicate your thoughts and feelings. Demonstrate many ways to communicate your subconscious mind to gain control of your life. The strategies in this portion of the program will fine-tune your communication skills within these changing times by using your childlike imagination to promote healing and find your confidence to better express yourself. Learn how to analyze the communication style of others, which better helps with understanding how to communicate. So after this presentation, you will be able to achieve a life of mastery that is limitless. So after this program, you will be able to learn to listen to your true voice, to break your own hypnotic spell, learn importance of self-talk, creatively express your imagination to welcome in the healing process, learn and understand different communication styles, find out how to communicate commands to your subconscious mind to create change. Now, this last signature program is community-based healing. This approach into the community dynamics during these times of change will alter your reality to identify patterns in situations and know when to seek solutions. Learn the positives and negatives of comparisons and judgments that are used within your environment or community. Learn tactics to break away from the trends within your environment and community that are presently not realized as mind control tools. Learn manifestations for your ideal environment or community, which can influence and become impressionable to others. Before this presentation ends, it will empower your every move. So after this program, you will be able to understand how to manifest your needs and wants, recognizing patterns that will create solutions for a better change, learn how to recognize individuals of bad or good influence in your space, understand how making peace with yourself can become a masterpiece for an idea community. Create better habits and practices that will help you attain the peace you so desire. And design and create a space that cannot be compared to others. I would like to thank you for taking time out in your busy day and joining me or sitting with me in learning more about my signature programs. As I always tell others, I am not here to make you think like me. I just want you to think. Again, thank you and have a great rest of your day.